area. It's a massive coordinating effort between the Texans, the Cowboys, UT football, and your event. And so I have my personal preference of when I would like to see the Grand Prix. I'm not going to share it with y'all because then Bernie will call me saying, why am I trying to force his hand? We're going to be ready to go in June 2012, and hopefully we're able to get the date that we really want long term.
Is close proximity to the Canadian Grand Prix considerations to minimize logistical issues?
Yeah, so all that so the way FOM travels is they have 747s, 7 jumbos that move everything. So naturally, when they go to Canada, they're already on this side of the continent. But when they go to South America, freight comes through the United States anyway, and they're not adverse to jumping back and forth. I mean, hence they're in Brazil one weekend and they're in Abu Dhabi the next. But yes, it would save money if you combine it when it's a swing. So we'll just have to see. I mean, I don't know when that's going to be. If I knew that we were going to have a mild early June, I'd say that makes sense for a million reasons. Simply because a lot of the school districts around the United States are already out. A lot of the ones on the West Coast are already out because they get out a week before we do. So hence you are in peak travel time. Is you look at our state as a whole, what goes on in June, it's actually a pretty slow month in comparison to the rest of the calendar. So from that standpoint, it is ideal. My fear is, I was in Dallas in '84, and granted that was mid-July, but the weather's rough, and you would rather want 70 degrees Chamber of Commerce type skies and all that. But I think that it'll be a process to where maybe year 1 and 2 are trying to accommodate, fight for what we really want, what we think is best for the event long term. But then it also needs to be put more into the bigger master plan of what else does that do as far as your other events, your alternative energy that you're trying to do with manufacturers, the riding school. One of the things that I think I've shared with y'all, I mean, Kevin, besides being one of my closest friends, he's got a very well-known riding school at Barber Motorsports Park, which is a great facility, and the Barber family are really good people. Sorry, they're going to lose their riding school. So Kevin's going to move it here. Kevin's relationship with all the motorcycle manufacturers, as far as Honda, Suzuki, etc. There's going to be an interesting component there. They're also looking to kind of greener technology as well. So maybe we can try to do that here at the only Grade 1 track in the United States. So there's so many moving pieces. I think that what we're going to have over our shoulder 8 years from now is going to be completely different than what we have in 2012. As the poor Koreans saw this past weekend, I mean, the promoters there, they caught a lot of stick. A lot of things that didn't become public is they were held up a lot because of the North Korean government and what they were doing and the threats, and things came to a standstill for 6 or 8 months. I actually thought, considering the circumstances, getting 91,000 fans in there in the rain on a Sunday with all the negative press that they had, they did a fairly decent job. I think that when you see the overall master plan of their facility, it's going to be pretty impressive in 3 or 4 years. So I think everyone forgets what TMS was like the first 3 years. From infrastructure to the way they ran things to seepage of the track to, it was one nightmare after another. 13 years later, no one complains about it. They do a great job. It's a great cup event, and everyone's happy. I think that, I'd be naive, and we would all be naive to think that we're not going to have some bumps in the road during the first event. The idea is to try and mitigate as much as we can in the process. But the track layout's pretty close to accurate. Kevin and I and Herman are making a few minor changes that won't change really the layout a little bit. I think it's more just the grading, the radiuses of some of the corners. We're trying to speed it up a tiny bit. That stadium-like section, is really a little bit more for the engineers and a little bit more for the fans so that they can see more action longer. But I think it's a little bit slower than we would have liked, so it's slowing down the overall simulated lap time a little bit too much. So we're tweaking that. Regardless of what anybody tells you, we have not missed a deadline to the FIA. That's complete crap. They don't have a deadline. We are going to be, the next time the Circuit Commission meets in Paris is in February. We're going to have it to them way before then. I mean, we could turn it in even probably in the next 2 weeks. We're not going to, because there's certain things that we're going to do. All the soil tests, you know, we are as familiar as all the residents out here and how expansive the clay is out there. It's something we wish wasn't the case, but it's a give or take. You know, you go west where you put 900 acres together. How are you close to the airport? How are you close to a toll road? Yes, the land's a little bit more expensive, but how we're doing to fix the land on this side is going to end up being more expensive than land on the west side. You know, just trying to. So it's really more of the right place, the right location, the right view, the right access. This is the right place.
Right distance from Bubba's.
Yeah, right distance.
We have a beer garden being built in the back.
Well, no,
We'll hold 1,000.
I would say that certainly this place is going to benefit a ton. I think the gas station owner down around the corner has hit the lotto. And I think that all the residents...
Burgers would make great traffic.
What?
Bubba Burgers would make
Oh,
great
yeah.
traffic.
Bubba and I have already talked about that. So really overall, there's a lot of other things that I'm not sharing with y'all just simply because it's not to the stage where we can. But I would say that everything's really humming along well. We're on schedule. We're hoping to be able to be moving dirt by December. You know, even if it's just starting to do some of the clearing. And I think things are good. I know that one of the things that Trace shared with me that I think you asked is that what is it that you guys can do to help us? And you know, I know that when we've spoken to the Porsche Club or other clubs, everyone and we're really honored and feel grateful that everyone's willing to help. I would say that there are going to be a series of hearings coming up that may be public, that we know that some of those 6 or 7 guys that have their several aliases are going to kind of try to rally some of the troops there. I would say that if Allie or I or Trey or Richard reach out to y'all's organizations, that y'all are willing to come out and say good things and come out and support our cause. I mean, I think that we've gotten over the hump of, you know, if you remember initially when this first came out is, oh, it won't even work here, and, you know, it's a scam, and this won't produce any money. And we all of a sudden went to, no one's saying, oh, we made a mistake. Now it's 12-hour traffic. So which is it? Is it going to be really good and there's going to be so much traffic, or is it that it's not going to work? So I think everyone recognizes now, I think some of the city, state, and county officials that have traveled to go to other Grand Prix have realized that it's really irrelevant about whether they personally like the sport. I think they realize it's a global event. I think they realize that they make a comment, it's read in Singapore and the next day. I don't think they've ever experienced that. The fact that FIA showed them that there's 900 traveling dedicated media journalists. So the traveling press corps for F1 is 900. So that doesn't even count the host region. So I think that they all now recognize, oh my gosh, this is enormous, and they're getting off pretty good, other than being helpful and cooperative. But they don't, and so you know, really that's it. We're excited. We're working insane hours. Trey's group is too. We've got a creative agency out of Dallas that does a lot of our creative stuff. If you've noticed, we've now have a Spanish version of the website, so it's got both languages. The fact that Sergio Perez has got an F1 ride next year, this truly is, the Mexican people are looking at this as almost a home Grand Prix, which is going to be good because it means that a lot of the very wealthy, thousands and thousands of wealthy Mexican people and families are going to come here and spend their dollars here, which is what we all want, not only from our standpoint, the Del Valle standpoint, from Travis County, the city, the state. I mean, that's exactly what we want. People have asked me, what do you hope the spread is? We're going to have 120,000 people from outside of Austin. And in the big, long run, that's really what we all want from a business standpoint. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the update. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot of work on a daily basis.
Tavo, what other venues do you consider?
Other venues
As far as racing?
Oh, you mean what other series?
Yes.
Well, we right now. It's a very political thing. I mean, right now our focus is F1. I can assure you that the track will be built capable to hosting any type of world-class or national class there is.
Good answer.
And so.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tavo.